works best when you are shooting a scene with dynamic highlights and shadows. Attach your camera to a tripod to capture consistent photos while changing exposures.
Now it's time to take your pictures. First, take a properly exposed image. Set your camera mode to manual and adjust the ISO, shutter speed, and aperture until your meter is at 0 or properly exposed. Sometimes this can take trial and error. Next, adjust aperture or shutter speed to underexpose your image by 1 f-stop. Take the image. Continue to underexpose by 1 more f-stop and capture the image. Then, you do the same to overexpose your image. Once properly metered again, overexpose by 1 f-stop and capture the image. Again, overexpose by 1 more f-stop and capture the image. HDR requires a minimum of 3 images, a properly exposed, over, and underexposed. Here we take 5 in order to capture a wider range of shadows and highlights. Once your photos are captured, upload them to your computer. Let's take a look at our most under and overexposed image. The underexposed image has dark shadows, as you can see in the corners, and the train has great detail. Here in the overexposed, the train is washed out, but you can see greater detail in the columns. The best detail and range from each photo will be merged together to create one image with a high dynamic range. Now open Photoshop on your computer. Click File, Automate, and merge to HDR Pro. Select your images. We selected 4, but you can choose as little as 3 or as many as 8. Make sure that Attempt to automatically align source images is checked to ensure that your photos line up. Click OK and the HDR image will open. Check Remove Ghost will allow Photoshop to remove any ghost or blurred images. Now you can make your image look as realistic or surrealistic as you would like, and Photoshop even offers presets. Here we'll choose Surrealistic. Now you're able to alter your image by moving the sliding bars. The radius controls the size of the glow effect, and the strength slider affects the level of contrast. Gamma adjusts the difference between highlights and shadows, while exposure adjusts the overall image tone and brightness. Detail sets the amount of contrast in the detail, and shadow and highlight adjust the brightness of those regions. Vibrance and saturation affect the strength of the colors. Adjusting these sliders can result in endless outcomes of how your final HDR will look. When you're happy with your final HDR image, click Enter twice, and then you can save it. Be patient, because sometimes this can take a minute or 2 to render.
HDR isn't only an option with an SLR camera. You can easily capture an HDR image using your iPhone. By opening the camera, click HDR and capture your image. Your iPhone will automatically render an HDR photo and save the unedited photo as well.